Hello and welcome. This is rooflemonger, my friends. In today's video, we're talking about the Mortal Kombat 1 Pro Competition. So, Mortal Kombat 1 has a Pro Tour. This is how modern fighting games go. Everyone has a Pro Tour. So that, in of itself, is not news. They announced it a little bit ago. Here's the hype trailer they have for it. But what I did find pretty interesting about their Pro Competition is some of the rules they have set forth, as there is a detailed rule set. And some of these rules are little non-standard compared to how other fighting games tend to do things. So I figured it'd be fun just to look over the rule set and go over some of the rules that are a bit more interesting than the others, or at least different from how things are normally done. And also, if you want a listing of every single rule, you can find a link to it in the video description. So one of the things that was interesting to me out of the gate, just looking at the rule set, all the legalese, all that kind of stuff, is that the Pro Competition is brought to you by RTS Management. These are the same people who bought Evo along with Sony not too long ago. RTS is effectively Endeavor's esports wing, if you will. So it doesn't mean anything in and of itself, but I guess if they're involved in the Pro Competition and co-own Evo now, that you'll probably be seeing their name show up more and more and more in fighting games. Also interesting in the legalese is that the league and any tournament with the league is in no way sponsored, endorsed, or administered, or associated with Warner Brothers. I know we published the game, but hey, this ain't us. I'm sure it's just legal stuff to protect them for whatever liability or whatever, but it's just interesting to see there. And there's just a lot of little things in the document where I get what they mean, but it just reads kind of weird. Like here, as for you, a player expected to be in the tournament, you are always expected to play at your best at all times within the tournament. And then, have good behavior, good sportsmanship, all that kind of stuff. But the concept of you have to play your best at all times. Did you have a bad day? Were you feeling a little off? That's against the rules, buddy. You gotta be at 100% at all times, otherwise get out of here. Once again, I know what they mean. There's like all sorts of stuff about rules about collusion, all that kind of stuff further in the document, but it's just funny the way you read it. Now, as far as proper rules go, some things non-surprising, like all the official tournaments will run on the PlayStation 5. That's effectively the competitive standard in fighting games, and will remain so probably till the PlayStation 6. But here's where things start getting a little different and very interesting. So matches are best of 5, period. Not just like best of 5 when we're top 8 or we're in like semis or whatever. It's best of 5 even in pools. So even if we got like a 300-400 man tournament, every match, even from the very start, is always going to be best 3 out of 5. Now, there's aspects to this. It does help assure that the better player wins, right? So gimmicky tactics will be less effective if you have the 3 out of 5 environment to adapt and, re-go at the enemy and see how that goes out. But it also means the tournaments will take quite a bit longer to run if everything's going to be 3 out of 5, which as a player probably doesn't matter as much. For a tournament organizer, I can imagine can be an issue. Now, Mortal Kombat 1 is not a particularly slow game, so it's not going to be glacially paced or anything, but it's just very different, Normally, 3 out of 5 is either reserved for like top 8 or like winners and losers finals and grand finals, right? And here, it's going to be every single match in an official tournament. So I guess Combat League 3 out of 5 was prepping us. And also, just to go back, for official Pro Competition online tournaments, Wi-Fi is 100% banned. Now, I know some of y'all have feelings about Wi-Fi, some positive, most negative, but regardless, for an official Pro Competition setting, banning Wi-Fi is the only possible thing you can do. Anything else is outright silly and would sully the validity of a Pro Competition tournament. Now, here's another interesting set of rules, especially because we're going to be in a 3 out of 5 longer set format. So the general long-held rule set of fighting games is you play your first match, and if the loser wants to switch a character, they can switch a character. But the winner must keep their current character. And that's the same to a degree. However, if the opponent switches their character after a loss, the winning player has to keep their main character, but they're allowed to switch their cameo. So that's a pretty big deal. I don't got to tell you how much cameos changed the game, right? And obviously, in a tournament format, a lot of players are just going to be picking Cyrax regardless. But say if someone switches and, they're pick a more zoning heavy character, and then you're like, okay, I'll switch my cameo and I'm Sub-Zero. That can shut that down pretty hard. Because character counter picks are a thing, obviously, but you can cameo counterpick a character counterpick. So that will definitely play dividends over the course of the game's life in an official tournament format. So that's going to be very interesting to see. Now, it doesn't unfortunately state about cameo choices. Can you just switch your cameo and then the opponent has to just keep their character and cameo? The document does not clear that up, but this is the only time it ever mentions cameos in the whole tournament listing. So we're not too sure on that, but still, regardless, that is a pretty big deal. Now, as far as DLC characters go, they're holding to the standard. Generally, a new character, you got to wait 2 weeks before you can use them in the official tournament. Although they didn't say anything about new cameos, so I'm assuming that'll fall under the banner of new characters. But since they didn't explicitly say that, that is up in the air. So that's basically it. There's tons and tons and tons of stuff in the document if you just want to pour over it yourself. Once again, it'll be in the video description. These are just some things that stuck out to me. Like the whole pick counterpick situation with you being able to change your cameo if you get counterpicked, that's kind of a big deal. And the fact that every match is going to be 3 out of 5, even in regular pools. Like, you know, pack a lunch if you're at a tournament, you know, that's what I'm saying. But it's going to be very interesting. I'm very interested to see how the Mortal Kombat 1 competitive environment will go. You know, obviously right now we have a pretty good idea what's good, what's bad, but things will change with patches and all new tech and all that kind of stuff over time. So it's going to be a very malleable game. And since it's such a crazy game where so much possible, when money's on the line, it's going to be very fun to see what people come up with. And besides that, just want to let you guys know what's up. That's the video for today. So let me know what you think in the comments below. And otherwise, we're at the end of the video. So thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well. And go out and play some Mortal Kombat.